guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and I build Lego sets as well as film lifestyle type videos. So today's gonna be another Lego video. Typically every week on my Instagram story I post polls and let you guys vote on which Lego set I'll be building next. So this week I decided to do the poll between this R2D2 and then the Millennium Falcon. And surprisingly the votes were very close. So this week I will be doing the R2D2, which I'm very excited about. I think it's so cute. So I think I'm gonna make this set into two videos. The first one will be a little bit more of a talking video. I have a lot to discuss with you, okay? I just finished Clone Wars, and then my next video will be an ASMR clicking. And I have my new mic set up now, so it's actually right to the side of me instead of on the table because it keeps picking up all these little taps on the table and it's driving me nuts. So I'm gonna try this and we're gonna see how this goes with my new microphone. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of get started and yeah. Okay, so a little bit about this set. So this is set number 75379. It has 1,050 pieces. I think this is my biggest set now so far that I'm going to be building. There's 12 parts in this set. That is the most parts I've had in any set so far. So I think we're going to do the first 6 in the first video and then we'll do the last 6 in the next video. This is a pretty new set too. It came out in March of this year, so that's pretty cool. They did give us a little mini R2. So R2D2 is definitely like one of the most important characters in Star Wars, I feel. I feel like he's in basically almost every single Star Wars movie and TV show that there is. You know, if we're going in the order that things are released, he started the whole thing with, you know, when Leia was captured by Darth Vader, she asked for Obi-Wan's help and it was through R2. R2 had the plans and went to find Obi-Wan, which, you know, that ended up bringing him to Luke, and Luke would have never gotten involved if it wasn't for R2. And without Luke, he couldn't have turned Darth Vader in the end. And who knows where Star Wars would be if R2 wasn't a character, basically. You know, he's known for being a brave little droid. So in movies 1, 2, 3, he starts out with being Padme's droid, I believe. I think that's how he started. When Anakin and Padme get married, I don't know if you know this, but instead of exchanging rings, they exchanged droids. So Anakin originally had C-3PO. He made him when he was a slave when he was a little kid. At that time, R2 was Padme's droid, and so they exchanged droids instead of exchanging rings. So after they get married, you always see R2 with Anakin, and you always see C-3PO with Padme. And I thought that was a very cool little thing that they did. There's so many damn parts, but I feel like there's not very many pieces in each part. So I'm hoping this won't take too long, but we will find out. Yeah, I love that little like 3-episode thing that they do in Clone Wars where the droids go on a mission. They do so good, and R2 almost dies, which is so sad. So at the end of episode 3, when Anakin goes on Mustafar and he ends up fighting Obi-Wan, R2 stays with the ship and he never sees Anakin ever again. And anytime after that happens, R2 will never stay with the ship because of that, because he's afraid of whoever is with him won't return. And that's so sad. So that new Acolyte show just came out, and I've watched about halfway through the first season, and it already is just so bad. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but you know, I still wanted to see it for myself, and I've only gotten halfway through the first episode, and we'll see how far I end up getting. It looks like we're making the inside structure in the first part. From what I can tell, it's a lot of colors that aren't R2, so that would make the most sense. The hardest time putting some of these pieces on, I swear. we're done with part 1. Like I said, it's just the interior, like, structure part of it. Not really anything R2 on here yet, so. Well, looks like we have another minifigure. I didn't realize that this one came with another one. Darth Malik. I don't think I've ever heard of that one, but that's our next step. It comes with a little cape. And his little lightsaber. Here we go. Darth Malik. I don't remember this one, but apparently he gets a little stand, so we'll do that next. Alright, so I finally finished Clone Wars, and I'm not happy about it. But the last time I talked about Clone Wars was when I was at the part where Obi-Wan fakes his own death and turns into that. So a lot has happened since then. First off, okay, Maul is back. Which that's really cool. I'm glad that they brought Darth Maul back. He was a great character. But to be cut in half and still live through that, like, that's a little ridiculous. But anyways, I didn't know he had a brother, so that was kind of cool to see that. But all Darth Maul wanted to do was get revenge on Obi-Wan, and ended up working with the, it was the Mandalorian, I think it was called the Death Squad. So he helped the Death Squad seize Mandalore, and he killed a girl that Obi-Wan had a crush on, which is so sad. Ugh, killed her right in front of him. And turns out that was Bo-Katan's sister, so that was kind of cool. But then the Death Squad betrays Darth Maul. Darth Maul ends up killing the main guy. Now he's in charge of Mandalore, which, so sad. But Palpatine is upset with how Darth Maul is causing so much chaos. And he ends up going to Mandalore and killing his brother, Savage. Which he was kind of cool. I wish that he was in a little bit more. But then Maul becomes basically like in charge of the spice trade. I think that's what it's called. Or the spice, I guess. And that's also why you see Darth Maul in Solo. But that was basically the story of Darth Maul. And then we get to Ahsoka, which is so heartbreaking. She gets framed, and they think that she's the one that blew up the Jedi Temple. And they don't believe her, they don't believe her, they don't believe her. The whole time they don't believe her, except for Anakin. Anakin and kind of Obi-Wan, but kind of not really Obi-Wan. Anakin's the only one that truly believed that she didn't do it. She's basically forced to no longer be part of the Jedi Order, which is so sad. And then during her trial, the last minute, Obi-Wan figures out who actually was behind it, and turns out it was her friend. And the whole time, the entire Jedi Order, all the council, all of everyone thought that Ahsoka was guilty. And because of how they treated her and how they didn't believe her, how they're supposed to be this united front, and when one of them is being framed, they did not believe her. She leaves the Jedi Order. And I would have definitely done the same thing if I was in her position. Like, that was her family. That was all she had. And they all turned against her just like that. And I don't know how they thought that they were going to get her back after they did all that to her. So I'm glad she left, but it breaks my heart too that she left, because she also left Anakin behind too. And he was the only one that ever looked out for her and found the truth of what actually happened, instead of just believing that Ahsoka actually did bomb the Jedi Temple. I believe that was around like the second to last season. And then at the end of that season is when Yoda goes on that spiritual journey because he hears the voice of Qui-Gon. He wants to become like a spirit after he dies as well, or I don't know exactly what it's called, but something like that. And so he has to go and do certain places, and they reveal to him everything that's going to happen. Every single thing, from all the Jedi dying to Darth Vader. Okay, he finds out that Darth Vader is going to come of power soon. He finds out basically everything except for who Darth Vader is and who Darth Sidious is. Everything else he finds out. And yet, he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. He knew everything that was gonna happen. I cannot believe. Like, the Jedi Council was terrible. They let so much slip, let so much go by. They kept framing the wrong people, and he knew, Yoda knew the whole time everything that was gonna happen, and it still happened. I could not believe when I was watching that happened. Okay, we're done with bag 2. It looks like it's just the side. That turned out pretty cool. Okay, so continuing with Clone Wars a little bit more. So then we get on to, you know, the last season, and that one, like, every episode was terrible. It made me so sad every time. So that's around the time when Tup's chip starts malfunctioning and he ends up killing a Jedi on accident. And so they have to take him into Kamino. But Dooku tries to get them to stop them, basically, on their way there before they find out that there's actually a chip in them and find out the truth of what's actually going on, that the army is not actually... That was another thing. The whole council knew the Siths were the ones that created the clones. So why would you keep using them? Like, you knew. Anyways, Dooku tried to stop the clones from getting to Kamino and finding out the truth of the chip and everything, and ended up taking Tup, but then ended up rescuing Tup again, bringing him to Kamino, finding out that there was some sort of something wrong, tumor in his head, and the people of Kamino trying to cover it up, and they were working with Palpatine and with the Sith and with Dooku. And then Fives was told to go with them and to just keep an eye on him and stay there. He ends up finding out the truth of what's actually going on. And it breaks my heart that he went to go and try to tell Anakin, and everyone thought he was crazy and ended up getting killed, and that was so devastating. Like, I can't believe that Fives died because he found out the truth and the clones were sent to kill him. So sad. I hate that they did that to him. I love that little robot, or the little droid though, that sticks with Fives and is at Kamino. And then you get to that whole part where Ahsoka is on her own and what she's been up to. I'm not too interested in the like two girls story. Like, I don't know. It's not very interesting to me, but that's how she decides to start helping again, and she goes to work with Bo-Katan to try to seize Mandalore and capture Darth Maul, and that's when she finally contacts the Jedi again and Anakin. And he was so happy to see her when he saw her on that telegram or whatever. I don't really know what you call that, but like, you could see how happy he was to see her. And Ahsoka was trying so hard to not get too personal with him because, like, she knew that she would be sucked back into it if she didn't keep her distance. Anakin was the only one that could have kept her from staying away from the Jedi Order. But as soon as she arrives and she's there, he turns his whole fleet of clones into Ahsoka's clones, and it's so sad. It makes me want to cry. Like, he was so happy to see her. And when she leaves on that mission to go capture Maul is the last time she sees Anakin. And then she goes on that mission and is able to capture Maul and takes him with on the ship. And then that's when Order 66 happens. And we all know how that ended. I cried the entire episode. I had already seen the last episode, like before I watched Clone Wars, and it just hit so much harder watching everything and watching the clones and Rex, and man, that was rough. And knowing how happy Anakin was to see her and to be there, that like then he turns bad, still can't believe it. Alright, we're done with bag 3. It was just the other side of this. I still haven't been able to recover from Clone Wars. It's been a little while since I finished it and still can't stop thinking about it. But now that I finished Clone Wars, I started watching Bad Batch and I really like it. I've only gotten a couple episodes in so far, so I definitely liked all of them in Clone Wars. So it's really cool they made a series with Bad Batch. I like how they put Omega in there. Like, I don't know exactly what she has to do with everything. Like, I know that she's a girl clone instead of a boy clone, but as a character, I like her. I didn't think I was going to because she's a kid, but she definitely grew on me. It makes me really sad though watching Bad Batch and seeing all the clones bad, and like they have to fight them now and kill them, and how inhumane they are now. They have no humanity left in them. They're all just soldiers that follow orders. But I have a feeling that the next episode they're going to be reunited with Rex or Ahsoka or something like that. I really hope that they do something like that because you know that Rex and Ahsoka are still alive. At least that's how it ended in Clone Wars. So it'd be nice to see them again. Yeah, these are definitely like small parts. I'm already on part 4 and like there's not very many pieces in each. I kind of prefer it that way because then I'm not trying to dig and find each little piece that I need. It's a little easier to see everything. Hoping that this microphone picks up all audio that I need it to because it is on the side of me. But I was having this problem where I had the microphone on the table and it was picking up all of the vibrations of the table every time I touched the table, so I have to figure something else out. All right, we have another side done. So that means the last part 5 is probably going to be the last side. So I ended up finally booking my next trip. I'm gonna be going to Portland. Super excited for that. I have a few things planned of what I want to do, so for sure I'm gonna go to Voodoo Donuts. I know it's super like overhyped and a lot of people talk about going to it there, but I still want to experience that and do it for the first time. I've never been, I think. I don't think I've ever been to Oregon. You know what? I think I was there as a baby, my parents, but I obviously don't remember. But I want to do some sort of like river cruise thing that they have there where you like eat lunch or eat dinner, or I saw there was like a brunch one. And then there's this like, it's like an underground haunted like speakeasy, and they give you like a tour of it, and it's like super old, and they give you beer with the tour. And so I think that would be really fun to do. So I want to do that. And then I'm also thinking of getting a tattoo while I'm in Portland. I get a tattoo a lot of places I go when I travel. So that's like my souvenir, basically. I'm thinking of getting a donut with some pink icing and some sprinkles on top of it for my tattoo. I think that would be really cute for Portland. So if you guys know any really good tattoo artists that are in Portland, or anything that you suggest that I should do, let me know. Comment down below. Okay, we just finished part 5. I think it looks so cool already. It's the bottom of his little droid. Okay, we have one more pack for this video, so we're gonna go on to part 6. Okay, we're done with part 6. So it's just the top. I believe this is going to be the top of his head, but it didn't want me to put it on yet, so I'm assuming there's going to be more I have to add on to this. But I think that's going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.